welcome back to War Thunder, and this time to British 3.7, which is a fantastic lineup. My specific lineup has the British Mustang, the British Hellcat, I think it's the Firebrand, um, the Achilles, two Cromwells, and one of the Crusaders. And I think Crusader AA Mark II. So we are on. It's not Volcamansk, it's Port Novo, which is. It's a decent map. It's okay. It's. Could be a lot better. And I'm about to get shot by someone who's using ULQ and I can't see because I happen to have a decent computer and don't need to use ULQ. So I'm going to spawn the Crusader 3. We're still in the first phase of the match. We're about to move into the second, and yeah. And I want to talk about something here about the British tech tree in general. They don't have very good light tanks, which is something you're going to find you don't have a lot of in your lineups in the British tech tree unless you go down the South African tech tree, which I haven't really done because, I'm kind of old, I can't be bothered. And you see that T14? He's just made a mistake. He's been spotted by me, and this is the power of a light tank, is that you can gain spawn points for doing pretty much nothing. And this is where the Russian tech tree also suffers because they don't really have any light tanks, which is a bit of a disappointment. There's probably a few that could be used, but it's fine. T34 is perfect in every way, of course. It is not. Blech. Anyway, this T14, he's made a massive mistake. He's not angled around the corner. He's just facing his head on, and he's facing our ARL 44 head on. He does have the armor currently angled toward the ARL, but the ARL is angled in such a way he could probably shoot through the frontal hull. But the T14, being super smart, decides to look in my direction, and the ARL takes him out. Rather, the T34 takes him out through a shot into the turret sides. Now with the T14, you really have to be careful where you're angling your turret, because your turret has the weak points around the curves. So the mantlet is perfectly thick, the sides are perfectly thick, but what will let you down are the turret sides, where they are curved and, shells like to normalize there. So yeah, we're entering phase 2 of the match. We're pushing toward the A point. We've got the B point. We're just eradicating the enemy presence around it. And the P47 has just spawned in. I'm completely butchering my murder of this Grant, which is, it's fine. It's okay, but you really never face these things. And the P51 just suicide bombed, getting one target with a full payload. So he's pretty much out of the match unless he has AA. I, however, since I've put together a lot of spawn points with flying with the scouting and the assist on the T14, I can spawn the Hellcat with full payload. And the British Hellcat, it's at the same BR as the American Hellcat and the first French Hellcat, and most of the other first Hellcats you get in the game. But it has the advantage of not really being flown out that often. So people don't really expect Hellcat performance. They think, oh yeah, this person's, I don't know, it looks like some kind of weird P47. That's fine. That'll be easy to kill. But the Hellcat works in a very different way. It's the yin to the Corsair's yang, if I were to put it that way. The Corsair is a pure boom and zoomer. The Hellcat is an energy fighter. It can do some boom and zooming, but it's not what it excels at. It excels at carrying a payload and being able to energy fight the opponent. And energy fight the opponent into doing an overshoot because it bleeds a lot of speed. Now, I dropped a 1,000 pound bomb there, which is a total waste. I could have got another, 2 kills with that, but I still have 5 rockets left. And I'm about to go head on with an M8 because he decided it was a good idea to shoot at someone with rockets. Because usually this is a decent idea, especially with the 50 cals. You'll put a shot into the bottom of the fuselage, usually kill the pilot. I, on the other hand, am relatively decent with HFARs. I can hit you from a reasonable distance away. And being an open top, I don't really have to hit the M8 or this M10 over here. I just have to hit the environment. And this is where proper HFAR skill comes in. It takes a little bit of time to smack down the aiming of the HFAR. I'm going to do a video on that soon. You can expect it, I don't know, in whenever my internet improves, so maybe middle of January if I'm lucky. But I try to do a vertical shot on those two AA. I completely miss and fire off another hit. It's 2 kills, but get taken out by the Whirlwind. And the Whirlwind is ignoring the P-47 and instead going for me, like a good Whirlwind. Because someone that's on fire, especially Hellcat, which does not have self-sealing fuel tanks, is definitely a worthy waste of ammunition. Now we are in phase 4 of the match, where, you guessed it, spawn pushing, because there's nothing else to do. We can only really go in one direction, so I spawn another plane, because there's an SBD up. And I recognized the SBD was going up by looking at the kill feed and looking at, well, guesstimating who was doing best on the enemy team. But spawning the Firecrest is a bit of a waste. In reality, what I could have done is just not spawned and I would have won anyway. I may not have been the place in the team that, but, you know, a little bit extra SL, especially with M3 Brownings, there's not really much an SBD can do against myself and an ITP. The only problem with the Firecrest is you only have 2 machine guns, which means, yeah, you get 600 rounds, but 300 rounds per 600 or 800 rounds, but 300 or 400 rounds per gun. It could be a lot better, and it takes a lot of practice to aim them because you don't really see M3 50 cals until jets. This is one of the few planes down here that has them. But yeah, anyway, this is what I'm facing right now. This is my internet situation. It is absolutely atrocious. But, you know, this is Scotland. It's Hogmanay. A lot of people are home. No one's working. So the internet is absolutely terrible. Even at 3 a.m. when no one else is awake. After restarting the router multiple times. Anyway, what you can expect is me going through my hard drive and probably talking over older videos. This one is going to be in 1440p because I managed to record some stuff at 1440p, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Fly safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!